We are live. What is up, everybody? Just making sure everything is working. Got Perry Comics in the house. What's up, my brother? Part of the CTT. So, going to bring this down. And so today, Friday afternoons, as usual, I go live on Fridays to talk about my new comic book day pickups and reviews. Luis Ramirez 504, what is up, man? Thank you for joining me this Friday afternoon. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you guys had a great Halloween yesterday and were able to take your kids or your family or wherever it is out and get a bunch of candy. We did. We had a great time yesterday. And one thing I actually forgot to do was get this pop-out chat. So I know I have the chat on the screen right there. It's just easier for me to look at it on this screen as well. Perry Comics says, just got home, watched the Joker. Bro, what did you think? Do I sound okay? First off, everything sounds great. I thought the Joker was fantastic, man. I absolutely loved that movie, and I really do need to go see it again. So, Friday afternoons, we go live on the Comic Jabronis channel, and we talk about new comic book day pickups, and we'll do some reviews. This week, we're going to go over DC and Marvel. Yesterday, I actually dropped my video on what I picked up for independent books. There was actually no Image books. There were only two brand new indie titles that I picked up, so I threw in some other stuff. It was cool. It was like a one-shot. Yeah, it really was a one-shot. I have seen, Perry, some people talk about like wanting another movie, but I think this was perfect. It did everything that it needed to do. You're not really sure by the end, is everything that you just saw real or what the hell is going on? And it was great, man. And it leaves, is it ambiguity? Like, it leaves that question of what is the Joker's, what is his origin story, right? Repair Tech Tony, good afternoon. All only had on, I don't know what else he's saying. So guys, as you know, I'm going to flip over to Comic Book Roundup. This is a website that I use in my videos, and I use it, personally. I like this website, and it just kind of aggregates the scores for comic critics and users like myself and yourself. Only had one Marvel pick this week, Excalibur, and that is one that we're going to be talking about. We're going to go with Marvel first. But Comic Book Roundup, guys, I think it's a great website. If you don't really want to read what the critics are kind of talking about a book, sometimes they can be skewed by what people are. Lemon Mouse 77 says, good, I almost missed the stream. I'm glad that you didn't miss the stream. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for supporting me and being here to chat about comics, man. My bad, it cut off mid-sentence. So, Comic Book Roundup, if you don't want to read what the critics have to say, because it could be skewed because Marvel or DC, whoever is sending them books to review, you can go to the user reviews and see what people like myself and yourself are talking about a book. And sometimes that's a better way to gauge, like, do I want this title or do I not? Asian Funk Comics, my man, what's up, bro? Made it. He made it. I'm so glad you guys are able to make it. Rod Comic Vet in the house. What's going on? Comic family, thank you for joining me, man. So, earlier I put it on Instagram and I actually sent it out to the CTT. If you guys were not able to pick up that Joker Year of the Villain Brian Boland cover that was kind of like a thank you to comic shops, Midtown Comics has those available on their website. And I know a lot of people don't like Midtown. I'm not the biggest fan of Midtown myself because of the way they ship books and how long it takes for them to ship. But they have this comic, and it right now is 15% off. So it's $17 for this cover. And I say this because on eBay, they're going anywhere between like $30 with free shipping up to $40. So through Midtown, you can get this comic for $20 with shipping. So I think that's a better way. If you really want that comic, if you want that cover, which I did, go to Midtown. They still had them available about an hour ago. I think that's when I purchased mine. So switch back over to the live chat and to the Comic Jabroni. I'm going to pull up Marvel. Ooh, you like that? learning new things every time I do this OBS live stream. Absolutely enjoy doing this. So let's get into Marvel. What did you guys? Reggie Bayline's gonna have to go to Midtown Comics and get it since I don't order from them. Yeah, I order sometimes from them if there's a book that I can't get from my local comic shop. Happens every once in a while. But with this one, I actually went to eBay and I put in a bid for one of the Bolin covers, and it was a low bid. And then about 30 minutes before it ended, somebody beat me to it, man. And it was gonna be a lot cheaper than what I've seen them on eBay, but still wasn't gonna be this cheap. So go to Midtown, guys, and check that out. Andy Albert's my buddy from across the pond. Yo, Jabroni got to this one early. Andy from England, I am glad you did. Andy, what is up? James Tamburo, I hit the like button. Hey guys, I appreciate that. Hit that like or hit the dislike. It's all good to me, man. It shows, it tells YouTube that people are still watching my videos and what is it called? Like commenting, liking, disliking, doesn't matter. It shows that people are going to my videos, which I truly appreciate, man. Before we get into the reviews, I do want to say that I appreciate everybody that subscribes to my channel, everybody that likes and comments. It really helps me out, and I talked about it in the last two videos that, dude, it truly helps me out as a comic YouTuber and as a YouTuber in general on building the channel and learning new things, man. I showed love to everyone in the stream. Yeah, definitely, guys. If there is anybody in the stream that makes content on YouTube, go hit those channels up. Pushing out great content for you guys. If you ever have questions about comics, there are tons of comic channels out there. So we are going to get into Marvel. And Marvel, I picked up four books, guys. And the first one we're going to talk about is Conan the Barbarian with this crazy witch lady on there, man. I've been picking up Conan since issue number 1. We're going to move on over to Comic Book Roundup. And as you can see, critic rating of a 7.3, but users get a 9.2. And, there's only 2 users, so we'll click on over to the user and see. Got a 9.0 and a 9.5 from 2 different users. The first guy says, really good, fun issue. Andy Alberts, I've never hit the dislike button on you, man. Content is too good. Thank you, Andy. You are a great guy. James, how much is Amazing Spider-Man 252 worth these days? I don't know. We can eBay and we can check it out. Or you can go to GoCollects and we can check that out as well. Sometimes it fluctuates depending on how a movie does or if there's any news that come out about the Venom or the Black Suit or the symbiote. Sometimes that's what happens. So Conan, I've been picking it up since issue number 1. And in issue number 1, we got that first appearance of this witch, right? And she is trying to kill Conan. But through the process of these last 9 issues, you actually see that she has children. And these 2 little kids, these 2 twins, are always out there watching Conan and biding their time. And they want to kill Conan because they are in kind of the same boat as their witch mother was, of trying to kill him to take his blood so that they can resurrect this god, right? That's comic book nonsense. But it's enjoyable, man. It's a very enjoyable read, and I like it. And I like Conan. This issue is semi-important because you do actually finally, and I'm going to show you some of that interior artwork. Let's blow that up. So there's some of that interior artwork. The mother looks insane in this. She is beheaded by Conan at one point, and the kids actually put the mother's head right there. Put the mother's head back on the body, and it's pretty insane. But the most important, I have Batman 428. Awesome. Andy Albert says, I'd say about $70. Conan has been good from the beginning. Enjoyable read. It sure has, man. We got that comic book homie in the house, man. So I'm going to show you one thing. They are finally able to get to Conan. And in this issue, you get that first appearance of the hand of this big, god that they want to resurrect. I think they call him Razazel or something like that. Yeah, Razazel. And you actually see him in this panel right here. So that could be the first cameo appearance of this character. Conan is a badass. I gotta say that. He takes no prisoners in this book. It's more of a story from the kids' perspective on what's been going on through the last 9 or 10 issues, right? From their birth all the way up until the first time they see Conan. And then all the adventures that we've seen Conan go through in these last 9 issues, they've been there in every one of them. So now you're seeing it kind of from their perspective on what Conan's been going through. Something big happens at the end, but I don't think it's going to stick, and I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But Conan's been an enjoyable read, as we saw, 7.3 to a 9.2. I'd say it's more of the 8 to 8.5. I like it, and I'm going to keep going with Conan. James Tamburo says, sorry, I can't stay long. Hey, but thank you for showing up for a little bit, and, watch the replay when it goes back up later on today. I'm going to take a drink of water, guys. Yeah. That's some high quality H2O, guys. High quality H2O. So, next book, Hack79 says, what's up, man? What's up? Reggie says, cameo appearance versus first appearance. I'm still having fun time talking about that with friends. Yeah, there's a whole huge argument to be made about cameo versus first full appearance, but a cameo is an appearance of that character, right? It's the whole Hulk 180 versus 181. I would rather have 181 because that's just the more expensive book, and that's the one the market has dictated to be the more desirable. But Wolverine's first appearance is in 180 at the very end, and it's a full page, I think it is, or he's in there. I thought it was a full page, or it's maybe half of the page, and he's jumping out, and it says his name at the bottom, next issue, the Wolverine or something like that. I still want 180 as well, but in those instances like that, hey, get them both if you can get them at cheap. And there's actually a book, there's a book that I went to go pick up, and it's one that Perry Comics is always talking about, and it is this Dead Man Logan. This is issue number 11, and then I picked up issue number 12. Marvel Books, I picked them both up because you get that first appearance of, I think her name is Danny Cage as Thor. An appearance is an appearance, whether it's cameo or not. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right, comic book homie. Now, this one has, 11? Has that cameo appearance of Danny picking up the hammer of Thor, right? Mjolnir at the very end of it. I'm going to show it to you guys. There it is. There she is right there picking up that hammer. So one would think that is a cameo appearance of her as the new Thor. I agree. If it's in there, it's his first. Yep. So then if you go into Dead Man Logan, issue number 12, she shows up at the very beginning. She's all the way throughout this issue fighting it out, right? And she's got Dead Man Logan, and she's got this other Hulk, and they are part of the Savage Land of Avengers or something like that. Something. I haven't been reading Dead Man Logan, but I picked it up for the speculation value. You never know. They came out earlier today or yesterday and said that this new Thor, Danny Cage, is going to have her own series next year where she is leading the Avengers of that universal timeline. So in something like that, guys, pick it up for cheap. Right? That's a cheap first appearance. I paid cover price for that, man. You don't want to wait until next year when that book that you could have had for $3.99 blows up to, and when I say blow up, it's a $15 book or $20 book. Because then, dang it, you could have had 4 of those issues for the price that you would pay next year. You just never know. So, Andy Alberts, I agree. If he's in there, it's his first, man. You're absolutely right, Andy. Dang it, you are right. When you're right, man. So, next book we're going to talk about is Excalibur. There it is on the back. Excalibur issue number 1. I did pick up the connecting cover variant. I've been picking these connecting covers up for every one of these Dawn of X number 1 books. Because I like how it's going to, when you put them all together, it's going to have every single mutant that's ever been in a comic book. And when I look at this, some of the major players that are on this cover, you got Apocalypse in there. You got Archangel on this cover. I can't remember some of the names of these other guys. Here, I'm gonna let you guys look. Can you recognize anybody else? I think that's Sunspot. So I dig this. Oh, there's Sabretooth. Duh. Haha, Sabretooth. You already reviewed DC? No, DC's going to come after Marvel, man. I wanted to go over Marvel first because to me, DC had the better reads this week. And I only picked up 4 Marvel, and I picked up 5 DC books. Am I the only one who liked the Young Guns variant of Excalibur 1? I do not know what that one looks like. I'm going to have to pull that one up. But Excalibur, a new Dawn of X book. This one deals more with like Captain Britain and Psylocke. You have Gambit on this team, and they are going into what they call the Other World, I think it is. And they're having to fight, the Other World. And in this series, they're going to be fighting, I think her name is Morgan Le Fay. And Dr. Britain is called to the Other World because he's kind of the protector of the Other World. He's not a mutant. He has this crest that kind of turns him into Captain Britain, gives him all these powers. And he gets called over there. And Psylocke goes over there to kind of help him out. But through this whole process, he is kind of taken over by Morgan Le Fay. And I'm going to show you that now. He becomes kind of like the black, like a Black Knight or something like that. And it's kind of a cool look. There it is right there. And he's fighting his sister. But he drops the crest. And this is an important issue, guys, because this is the first appearance of Psylocke as the new Captain Britain. And there it is right there. I think that's a really nice visual. And actually, she's on this cover too. I didn't even notice that. There she is right there. So Psylocke is on the cover. It was a big leak. Oh, yeah. I did see that one. And actually, that was when I went to the comic book store yesterday. This other one on the south side of town, that was the only one that they had left. And it's not bad. I dig it. The only reason I picked this up, obviously, because of that connecting cover variant. So who else is on this team, man? You got Apocalypse on this team. You have the brother of both Psylocke and Captain Britain, which is Jamie Maddox, who has been dead in the past. Jubilee cover was the only one left at the second shop I stopped at on Wednesday. Yeah, like the second shop I stopped at Thursday, that was the only one left. All the other ones were gone. They actually resurrected Jamie Braddock. I think Braddock, right? Braddock? He's been dead for a while. I don't know the circumstances of his death. With comics, it's like, how'd they die? Who knows? But they'll come back to life, right? Who cares? But let's rank the 3 X-Men titles that have come out already during this Dawn of X. Number 1 for me was Marauders. By far, I thought that was the better of the 3 so far. There's still more to come. And then you go Excalibur, which was a really good read this week. And we're going to switch over to Comic Book Roundup. 7.8 from critics, 7.8 from users. This one, you have a lot more users reviewing it. You got 32 people reviewing that book. And then X-Men is last for me, guys. X-Men, I just thought X-Men was the hot garbage water that I talk about on Buy or Pass. It just didn't live up. I had a lot of Big League Chew and Little League days. Yeah, I remember that stuff, man. It would like, you'd take the whole chunk of it and chew it up for maybe like 5 seconds, and then there was all the flavor. It was all gone. I'm just picking up X-Men for now. Can't afford all the X books as well, as my pull list just costs too much. Sometimes it's just how it goes. But I am deciding on these issues depending on issue number 1, right? So I'm going to get them all. I think next week you've got X-Force and New Mutants, so I'll pick those up. X-Force is more than likely going to be one that I continue on because I just like that dynamic of those X-Force teams. CIA, they are the Black Ops team of the X-Men. So let's go. Hey, there's our boy Wolf Warner. Wolf Warner, if you didn't know, Wolf Warner has a channel on YouTube and it's amazing. He said 8.5 from him. If I knew more about Captain Britain and crew, I may have liked this much more. Regardless, it was a good read, flowed well. He is 100% right on that. I do not know the backstory of Captain Britain. I know a little bit about Psylocke. She's an X-Men, and I remember reading about her a bunch. But Captain Britain, I don't know too much about, so I don't know really about this whole other world that he goes to. So to me, 8.5 sounds really good. 8 to 8.5, it would have got a better score if I knew more, and that's more on me and not the fault of the book, because the book was still a really good read, guys. Kitty Nunn, I adored this. Having been a fan of Braddock Sibling since the 80s, I'm excited to see someone who really gets the family writing them. And Tiny Howard finds a surprisingly interesting and coherent place for magic. So there you go. It is a lot of magic based in this Excalibur book. So, Marauders, you got more pirates. Excalibur, it's going to be a magic type of story. X-Force is going to be more Black Ops. X-Men is going to be a whole lot of garbage water. I'm crazy, guys. Sometimes I make myself laugh, huh? Well, let's go back over. I got 2 more books, man. We're gonna fly through these. I thought they were okay. I'm thinking X-Men is a slow burn. It very well could be. Andy, I hope so, man, because X-Men was the one that I went in with the most hype. I felt excited to finally read an X-Men book. After I read House of X, Powers of 10, I was like, yes, here we go. X-Men is gonna be back on my pull list. It's gonna be great. And then I was let down. And yes, I know the hype was up there, but dang, man, I didn't want to read a story about the Cyclops family up on the moon having a barbecue and what his house looks like. And I've talked about that before in the past, and I've gotten heat from some people, and some people are like, Edwin, you're right. It didn't live up to the hype. So, hey, to each his own, guys, to each his own. So, next book up, we are going to talk about Venom. Issue number 19. I grabbed the A cover on this. Shows Carnage on the cover, but there is no Carnage. No Carnage in this book. Venom, there he is. You get a little bit of Venom. This is more Venom. The Venom story, although this is an absolute Carnage tie-in, the Venom story is turned more into what's Dylan doing, right? Eddie Brock's son. And in this story, he is trying to get a symbiote of his own. And if you guys remember that the sleeper symbiote has come back. And the sleeper says, come on, Dylan, let's join together and let's go help save, the Avengers, and let's go help save Venom, who is fighting Carnage. Well, I'm going to turn it back to this page, man. If you turn it back, there you go. He's about to be bonded with the symbiote, and the symbiote says, "Oh hell no, I don't want nothing to do with you. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm back. Damn, phone died. Hey, Perry Comics, thanks for coming back, brother." So the symbiote doesn't want anything to do with bonding with Dylan, and it's because something is in Dylan that might be dark. It's mysterious. We don't know yet. It's exciting. But I like this picture right here, man, of Dylan about to bond with that symbiote. And his eyes are all black, and he says some stuff and some gibberish that I can't read, and probably nobody in the world except for Donnie Cates can read. But he finally comes through in the end with the symbiote. You see a little bit of Hawkeye in there. It's a cool issue. It wasn't that great. Let's go in and move on over to Comic Book Roundup. You got a 7.3 from critics, 8.1 from users. In the end of the day, I just don't think that this one was as good as some of the other Venom books that were out there, but it does set up for something pretty sweet, right? Because Venom, I don't know where this is in the timeline of Absolute Carnage, because if you remember at the very end of that last Absolute Carnage, there was Carnage was flying off to go fight, or Venom was flying off to go fight Carnage, but then he shows up at the end of this book. So where is it in the timeline? Have no idea. But Sleeper comes in at the end, talks to Dylan, and says, well, when are you going to tell Eddie what's inside of you? So there's something in him. And Dylan says, I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm kind of excited about that. But this issue just wasn't as good. I would give it a 7. 7.3 seems pretty reasonable. Let's go to the user reviews. Wolf Warner again, my man Wolf. What a tease. Dylan was about to totally evolve and once again shows restraint. Can't wait until he tells Eddie about what is inside of him. You see, guys? So, I'm not crazy. Other people were thinking the same thing. Although his review is a little bit higher than mine. I said 7. He said 8.5. But it's still a passing grade, right? Passing grade. The next book is the one where I'm going to catch some flack for these, man. Silver Surfer Black. This is issue number 5. Venom is a setup book. Yeah. But if they all continue to be setup books, then what the hell, man? I don't get it. Every book I'm reading is a setup. X-Men is a setup. That's a long burn book. And then Venom is a setup book. Yeah, that's cool. Venom, I'm going to give one more issue. I'm going to read issue number 20, and I might drop it. I don't know yet. It could be like Immortal Hulk. Immortal Hulk, I said 25 issues is good enough for me. And I'm going to skip no more on that. Silver Surfer Black, though. What did you guys think of this if you picked it up? Donnie Cates says 20 is going mental. There you go. So issue number 20 for Venom is going to be nuts. And I'd imagine so. Maybe Dylan finally lets out this beast that's inside of him. Silver Surfer Black, on the other hand, from Donnie Cates as well, drawn by Tradmore, is insane. And that's, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, look, and I know people have been giving flack for some of the artwork in here, but dude, look at that artwork. Like, it's so trippy. Sometimes I'm looking at this and I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, what is this? What is this panel? What the hell am I looking at? Am I crazy? Guys, am I crazy? If I'm crazy, tell me I'm crazy. But maybe it's just me. Look at this panel. What the hell is going on in these panels? Silver Surfer finally does fight Null. So there you see it right there. Null is on his dragon. And slowly but surely, this darkness is taking over Silver Surfer, right? It started with his arm, and it's just going slowly but surely up his through his body. But you get this fight between Null, and again, the artwork is so insane that it's really hard to see what is going on. Guys, I might get dislikes for this, but Silver Surfer Black was just so hard to look at that it took away from the story for me, man. And we'll go on over to Comic Book Roundup. Got a 9.4 from critics, got a 9.4 from users. So people enjoyed it. People enjoyed the hell out of it. For me, it's like a 6.5 to a 7, just because it was so hard to see what was going on, man. I'm going to just show you more of these panels here. Let's see, that one. A little bit easier to see. But again, man, Tradmore, maybe his artwork just isn't for me. This is a really cool. I like this splash page here. But once the fight is over with, then we get this whole story of... and let me move back over to the big one. We get this whole story of Silver Surfer dying and creating seeds of himself. Comic Book Homie, Cates might be screwing with us with Dylan and the symbiote. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out he's a mutant or something totally different. Hey, that sounds cool. Andy says, no, you're not crazy. I couldn't get in the book because of the artwork. Dropped it after issue 2. Yeah, man. This artwork is crazy. So Silver Surfer dies. He creates these seeds from his body, puts them into this ground, and then when they bloom, they create a universe. So you see him perishing there at the end, burns up, but that's the seeds that have grown into this crazy flower, and the rest of it is just him talking about how the whole universe starts getting created, and there's planets and life, and I don't know, guys. This one wasn't for me. At the very end, you do finally get his resurrection, and he becomes that Silver Surfer Black that we know from the Thanos series. So, yeah, not my thing. Let's see if Wolf Warner is back on. I don't see him on here under user reviews. But Dennis Morales says, this is the best in-continuity story I've read all year. Got a bit emotional at the end. Looking very much forward to Surfer's new status quo. Nah, bruh. I'm not on there with you. I'm actually... all these guys are insane. The closest one to what I think is Sigmund Floppy Chest with the 8.0. And I wouldn't even give it that much, man. I just think the artwork is just... At a certain point, the artwork can just be too mental, just too insane, and take away from what I'm reading because I can't even see what I'm supposed to be like. You read and you look at the artwork and you kind of connect the two. But if you're reading and then you look at the artwork and you can't really tell what the hell you're looking at, then it takes away from the story, man. So I don't know. I don't think it's as good as other people are thinking, man. But that's it from Marvel, guys. Picked up 4 books. There were some others there that I just left on the shelf. Didn't have any interest in picking up. Let's go ahead and move on over to DC. So I got this. We're going to take that off. And we're going to put DC symbol, man. So people later on, when they watch this video, they'll know, hey, the Comic Jabroni's talking about DC now. So DC, I picked up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But one of them I tried to read. And this was off a recommendation from Perry Comics. But I couldn't get into it, guys. And that's going to be Sandman Universe Hellblazer issue number 1. It is just a one-shot. It's under their black label. I really like this cover, though. I like that cover. John Constantine using the tarot cards to light a cigarette. This guy knows a thing or two. I might know a thing or two. Sometimes I'm just insane, though. I tried reading it, man, from the beginning. but like Perry says, there was sometimes it's just too much to read. And that night I was tired and I didn't want to read all of this. So I didn't finish it. I'm going to read it later on, guys. Here's some of the interior artwork on it. Did you guys pick this one up as well? Perry, did you grab this book? There's more interior artwork. A little bit different. This is from Simon Spurrier and Marcio Takara. Passed on Hellblazer. Maybe I should have, but I really like that cover just too much, man. And I know I said I wasn't going to be a cover buyer, but I want to read more about the Magic Universe in DC. I really like Justice League Dark. Constantine was on that team. So I'm hoping that this is a good read. I just did not get a chance really to go over it again. Poor Mike says, listening while I drive home. My bruh, drive safe. Lurking. So if you're just watching and you're not saying anything, are you still lurking, right? While you're driving, but you're just listening, but you're not watching? Anyways, man, you're lurking. Thanks for lurking, brother. But the first book that I read was this Last God. Another Black Label book. Writer is Philip Kennedy Johnson. The artist is Riccardo Federici. I really dug this cover right here with the main protagonist of this story against this god. This is the Last God. Let's move on over, man. Before I talk about it, move over. 8.7 from critics, 8.6 from users. I liked it too. I would say an 8.5 for me. This is a story about a band of heroes that are going out to kill this last god. And you can see the band right here. This is that main protagonist at the beginning. This is set in 2 different time periods. You have 30 years prior with this main protagonist having to try to kill this god with his band of heroes. And then it fast forwards 30 years in the future, and after they have killed that god, he becomes the king of this whole, this land. And we find out through reading this that maybe the story that this band of heroes has told us is not exactly how it went down. Black Label, I can tell you that because it is pretty insane. Some of the stuff that you see in this issue, a lot of gore, a lot of death, and a lot of bad words being said in this book. I really enjoyed it. You can tell that there's a lot of meat on the bone to this story and this universe that DC has built for us, man. The art of Last God looks pretty sweet. Can't wait to read it. Yeah, Federici kills it on this. Check this panel out right here. Look at that, man. So now 30 years in the future, that last god is back. But it's not who we thought it was. And it's somebody else. I can't wait to read more. And this says it's book 1 of these chronicles, which tells me there could be a lot more going on. What I like at the end, too, they kind of give you the map. They give you the map of this whole land. And what do they call it? Canaan. And then you get these stories, man. It's not for everybody to read this kind of stuff, but it's cool that they're not just giving you a comic book, but they're also giving you way more of the history of what's been going on in this world, man. It's like if you've ever read, yo, Sam, My buddy Sam in the house. What's up, bro? If you've ever read Game of Thrones or if you've watched that show, you know that it's not just those years that you're watching from the show. There is thousands of years of history for those characters, and they're giving it to you in this Last God. So I think Last God is definitely going to be on my pull list, man. Andy Albers, think I'll pick this up. It's a really cool book, man, and it's all about heroes and adventuring, right? Sometimes we get so much into these comic books that all we want to read is heroes and villains, right? But it's cool to venture out and pick up other books, man. Stuff that you're not really comfortable sometimes reading, but this is a good one to read, man. Heroes and villains kind of got a Conan-esque feel, Game of Thrones feel to it for sure. Let's move on to the next one because I like getting these Friday review live shows in an hour. 1 hour, guys. I don't want to hold y'all up from doing all the other crazy stuff that you got to do on a Friday evening. Next book, we got Tales from the Dark Side. This is The Death of Superman. Really nice cover. This is a cover that a lot of people were really talking about, man. You got Lois Lane on that cover with The Death of Superman. This is following along the same lines of that Batman book that came out, a week or two ago, where Bane breaks his back, and it's a what if. Well, what if Batman never came back, right, from getting his back broken, and Azrael continues to be Batman? Well, this is Superman dies, right? We know that, right? Superman dies, but instead of, what is the name of that character? One of the four Supermen that actually come back. Let me see. I can't remember his name. Somebody in the chat. Oh, Eradicator. There you go. Keep me from it. So the Eradicator shows up, and if you've read The Death of Superman and then The Resurrection of Superman, you know that the Eradicator is kind of like a Kryptonian that shows up to resurrect Superman, but while Superman's in this life matrix, he takes over as Superman for that time being. Well, Lois Lane shows up, and he says, I'm too late. It's too late for Superman to be resurrected. So she takes the powers of the Eradicator. And there's a really, really cool spot right there, man. But she's overcome with grief in this book. There you go. Boom. Lois Lane as the Eradicator. But she's overcome with grief because she sees that the superheroes, they came in, they weren't able to help. They weren't there when Superman needed them the most. But they're there after his death. They're there in the front of the cameras. They're there at the funeral. They're there when the statue goes up. And she says, "You guys are always late, but you're always there in front of the cameras and to be there with the public when when you need to be. But you weren't there for Superman." So it drives her, I wouldn't say crazy, but vengeful. It drives her vengeful. So you see the fight. She goes on to kill a bunch of the superheroes. But you finally see the fight between her and the cyborg Superman. But if you remember from The Resurrection of Superman, it takes time for Clark Kent to finally be resurrected. And there he is. He does come back as the black suit with the super long hair, like the 90s haircut style. And I don't want to tell you how it ends, but I will move on over to Comic Book Roundup 7.2. I like how she killed the Joker. Yeah, she totally messed. I forgot about that. She takes Joker and she flies up into space, and he just burns away as she is flying through space. And you see like his you see his skull and his jawline. He's got that really super long jaw. 7.2 from critics though, 6.5 from users. I'm not sure why they said they didn't like it. First issue of the series, Nightfall, futile and pointless, but at least it was pretty competently. Death of Superman, however, seems to be pretty lackluster, doing both too much and not enough. Well, Nihilist, you're not making any sense to me. I don't know. I liked it. 6.5. I'd give it in the 7 to 7.5 range. It was okay. But a lot of these, it does seem like it's just a what if. There's probably not going to be anything after that. So you got to take it for what it is, man. You're just reading a book on what if something else happened during this Death of Superman story, or what else happened during the Nightfall story. And I think the next one they say is going to be over right here at the end, Blackest Night. So Blackest Night was a really cool story centered around the Green Lantern Corps and the death, a lot of these dead superheroes coming back to life and having the Black Lantern rings. What else did you guys think of it if you picked it up? You know, I got this over on Top Chat, and I think I should go to Live Chat just in case more people are saying stuff, man. Again, I appreciate you guys showing up, man. We got 3 more books. We're gonna get through them, and then you guys can go on your merry way. Have a great day. Next up, we got Deceased, issue number 6. This is issue number 6. This is the last issue of Deceased. I grabbed the horror movie homage, and I think this is an homage to Critters. They told me it was. I'm not sure. Out of all of the horror homage, I think this is my least favorite. But it's done by Yasmin Putri. Written by Tom Taylor, artist Trevor Hairsine. We're going to move on over to Comic Book Roundup. 8.7 from critics, 7.7 from users. I thought it was way better than that. I'm in that range of 8.5 to a 9.0. I absolutely loved this. Comic Book Homie says, I love that Detective Chimp cover. Man, you know, if you're a Detective Chimp fan, you'll dig that, man. With him all dead, zombified on there, man. So, you know, might be for you. Let's see what users are saying. Nihilist again, who I will not read because I think that person is Dark Side, pretty meh. Problem with Deceased. Come on, guys. It was better. I thought it was better than that, man. Way better. Problem with Deceased, it doesn't have any depth. In every issue, we saw some heroes getting affected and dying. That's pretty much it. Anti-life equation, possible cure. Well, what else? What else did you want from it? That's exactly what it is. It's a zombie type, right, of book. Heroes are going to die. They're going to go on to kill other heroes. You get the end. It's not the end that I thought was going to, that we were going to see. We get heroes dying. We get the pretty much the Themyscira, right? It gets overrun with like these dead Atlanteans. There you go. That's a really cool picture right there with the dead Aquaman on the Kraken. But then what happens? He gets an arrow. Let me see if we can put that right up there. Gets an arrow right through the eye. And Green Arrow's like, see, Batman doesn't think I'm a threat, but I just killed Aquaman. So F Batman. That's what he says. F Batman. You get a really awesome fight in here between Wonder Woman and Superman, right? Because we know from the last issue, Superman was taken over by this anti-life equation. So we get that fight. Wonder Woman actually goes to Themyscira to create a weapon that can kill Hack79. Hey, man, thanks for joining. Have a great day at work. Check out the replay when you can, brother. She creates this sword out of kryptonite to help take down Superman. So she cuts his arm off. She stabs him right in the chest. And then Superman ain't having none of that. So he punches her right in the gut. This is a really, Deceased has been an awesome series. I loved it, man. I'm a fan of it as well. There's a lot going on. We find out that there's some arcs that the heroes have built. I think there's 3 of them. And they fill them with as many people as they can to fly off to a new planet. But they're scared that Superman can just go wherever he wants, right? Nothing's going to stop Superman. While this is going on, we actually find out, I'm going to show you right here. We actually, oh man, did I lose it? I think I lost it. We find out, here it is. We find out from Wonder Woman, who's been taken over by the anti-life equation because Cyborg has that lasso of truth, throws it around Wonder Woman, and has her actually speak and says, "Was there a cure?" And Wonder Woman, who has been taken over by this anti-life equation, says, "Yes, you were the cure." So something in him was the cure. I don't know, what it was, and he realizes it too late because people, they're already gone on the arcs, and Wonder Woman takes him out. Boom. You can see right there. There goes the severed head of Cyborg. So now there is no longer a cure. You see the Green Lantern Corps show up. Superman, guess, doesn't want to fight the whole Green Lantern Corps. I don't think he can fight them. So some craziness that happens with Superman. I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to spoil the book. I don't want to tell you what happens with Superman. But I like Deceased. I liked issues 1 through 6. I even like that one shot that they did. This is a universe that it's probably going to be done with after this. I hope it does. I hope they don't bring any of this into the continuity. Just leave it as what it is, man. It's like Marvel Zombies. If Marvel Zombies was issues 1 through 6, no more. But the problem with Marvel Zombies was they started bringing the zombies into other aspects. When they had that battle world, I know there was like a zombie battle world. I don't want to read that. Deceased was what it was. I enjoyed that story. If you guys didn't pick it up, I would recommend picking it up in trade. If you didn't get any of the other ones, man. So, got 2 more books next up on the list. Joker Killer Smile. This is book 1. I grabbed this really nice cover right here. I don't know who. Oh, Care. It was a Care Andrews or Carrie Andrews. Written by Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino. Doing the artwork. This is the B cover. Let's move on over. Joker Killer Smile, 9.0 from critics, 9.2 from users. I loved it as well. 13 users, man. Just crazy. The fact it was written by Jeff Lemire, I had to read it. Art by Andrea was great. The Comic Cookbook. Of course, one of my favorite creative teams, Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino, deliver yet another gorgeously terrifying looking book. That I can say. This to me is what I love about a Joker book, right? Because you're not reading it from the Joker's perspective. This is from the perspective of a psychiatrist that is trying to, talk to the Joker and trying to cure him. But the Joker's messing with him through the whole book. Somehow the Joker is able to get this children's book to the psychiatrist's house, and the son gets a copy of it. And the son tells his dad, hey, can you read this book for me? You got it for me. The dad doesn't remember, right? The psychiatrist doesn't remember. So he starts reading it. It's about this Mr. Smiles and this fun land with these little creatures. And they're all having fun until one day Mr. Smiles shows up and he kills them all. So it's pretty insane, man. The psychiatrist starts seeing things. He starts going over, he starts seeing Jokerized versions of people. He thinks the Joker is after him. From Heroes to Icons, what's up, man? Comic Bill was too high this week. Didn't pick it up. It's a really good book, man. Captain Comics, good story. Yeah, I dug the story. Out of all the Black Label books that come in this magazine size, I think I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna continue on with this one. I'm gonna continue on with the next one. But that Harley Quinn detective story that came out 3 weeks ago, I think I'm not going to grab that one. This one was what, I think it was $5.99. Let me see. Yeah, this one was $5.99. But you get a ton of story, man. And let me take it out so you can actually see the interior artwork on it. I like that. Some people always want to ruin what is beautiful. And the artwork inside changes kind of from panel to panel. Well, not from panel to panel. Sometimes the pages are a little bit different. But there's some of the artwork. Let me show you where he's actually talking to the Joker. And you'll see, here's the Joker. At the very beginning, he lets off this gas, kills everybody, making them Jokerized. It was a really interesting read. There is a psychiatrist talking to the Joker, and I'm going to show you that Mr. Smiles. I know people talked about it being the first appearance of this Mr. Smiles, and there he is. When I flipped to this page right here, I thought, what the hell am I looking at? But it is the children's story that the dad, the kid wants the dad to read. And you see Mr. Smiles with the chainsaw. He's killing everybody, man. That basket of heads looked pretty good too, but I had to pass. Yeah, I passed on basket full of heads. Joker Killer Smile, though, in my opinion, was a great read. But as you can tell back here, I'm a Joker fan. And I like reading Joker books that are told from the perspective of somebody else. and maybe not so much the Joker. I like to see what other people think of the Joker and their view on him, man. And that's what this is. This psychiatrist is going nuts, and the Joker's messing with him. I'm getting that also. Still in my pull box. Yeah, definitely pick that one up, man. So we got about 10 minutes left. I got one more book. And we're going to call it a day. Guys, if you want to know what I picked up from Independence, I dropped that video yesterday. You know, feel free to go ahead and check that one out. I actually talk about a little bit of speculation in a DC book that people have been talking about. So there's a speculation tip in there. And I reviewed a New York City Comic-Con exclusive that I got from my boy Wolf Warner, man. So definitely check that one out. It's actually a shorter one. It's like 11 minutes, I think, since I didn't pick up that many books. I'm losing my voice, dude. I don't know if allergies kick y'all's butt, but I feel like dog poop, and the allergies are kicking my ass here in San Antonio. So the last book up, man, you guys had to know, it is Harleen, book number 2. Written by Stepan Sejic. I think that's how you say his name. And it's drawn by Stepan Sejic. I think Sejic. Somebody help me. I have no idea how to say that name. But the artwork, man, this is a big book. And it's $8, and it's worth all of the $8, man. You see, there's some of the artwork. Batman shows up in this issue. I'm going to show you a panel because she starts talking to Joker. And in this issue, man, we actually get the kind of the origin of Two-Face again. And it all has to do, keep killing it. We'll watch later. Reggie, thanks a lot, man. Love all the videos and reviews. Thank you so much for joining me. She talks to the Joker, and Joker says, you know, Gotham, criminals aren't born in Gotham. Gotham creates monsters. Right after that, that's when you start seeing this transformation of Two-Face, right? From Harvey Dent, he gets the acid thrown on his face, and he starts losing his mind, and he is born out of Gotham. Gotham has created a monster, and then she's starting to lose her mind a little bit because the Joker, she asked the Joker, why didn't you kill me that first night that you saw me? You know, the gun was to her head, but he didn't kill her. And he said, because when I looked at you, I kind of saw that smile, and I want to see you smile again. So she's losing her mind, man. And I love this story. She's having dreams of the Joker. She actually goes and sees and she actually watches the Joker as he sleeps. There's that panel right there. She watches him as he sleeps. She sees on his back he's got all these scars. And she's starting to fall in love with the Joker. Through this story, you see it, man. She is falling in love. And there, I'm going to show you this. There's a really awesome Two-Face in front of, Lady Justice right there. Guys, this Harleen story is, dude, if you are a fan of Harley Quinn, this is the one that you want to be reading. This is a take on Harley's origin that we really haven't seen before. Yes, she was a psychiatrist, but you kind of just got the story right as she goes into, like, Joker takes her and she turns into Harley Quinn. We didn't get this backstory on how she became a psychiatrist, how she got to Arkham Asylum, how she was interviewing other villains. She started interviewing the Joker. But I'm going to show you a little bit of the end here. She actually turns the camera off and she releases him. She releases him from that straitjacket. And then the last panel is actually kind of what this is. The Joker hugs Harley Quinn. So I'm pretty sure in that next issue, she's going to help him escape, and she's going to turn into Harley Quinn that we know. So that's it from DC. That was it from Marvel from earlier. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream, man. I like kind of doing these live streams. I'm going to start talking to maybe Perry, Wolf Warner, and getting a couple of those guys on the show as well, because I know we all read kind of the same books, so I want a different perspective on these books, and they have it. So guys, have a great Friday. Check out the other videos on my I feel like crap, guys. I'm sorry. I'm starting to lose what the hell I want to say. One thing I did want to say before you leave, I created a Facebook, like Comic Jabroni Facebook page. So if you guys have Facebook, search Comic Jabroni on there and you'll see me. like the page. You can share the videos that I post on there. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Instagram. I should have my next video of What the Heck Is coming out here pretty soon. I'd say within the next few days or so. And anyways, you guys have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. Take it easy, guys. Peace.